A few weeks ago, the One Bermuda Alliance issued a mini platform. At that time, the Progressive Labor Party did a cost estimate and determined that the new spending and new tax cuts proposed by the OBA in this platform would cost Bermudians an additional $500 million in new debt. Yesterday, the One Bermuda Alliance called the media and challenged a newspaper ad we ran highlighting the OBA's radical plans to add $500 million new to the debt. This demonstrated that the OBA is still trying to get Bermudians to believe what they're selling. They are trying to convince voters into believing that the One Bermuda Alliance can have millions in new spending, millions in new tax cuts, while at the same time magically reducing the debt. Meanwhile, the OBA has yet to commit to any major spending cuts. As I have said before, the OBA's fairy tale plans just do not add up, and voters know that 2 plus 2 does not equal 0. Given that the OBA is challenging the PLP cost estimate for their fairy tale proposals, I would like to place the following open challenges to the One Bermuda Alliance. First, tell us how much the new spending proposals outlined in your document would cost. Second, tell us how much the new tax proposals outlined in your mini platform would cost over the next 5 years. And finally, since the OBA says that they can do all of this while reducing the debt, tell us, what would you cut in order to make your math work? The Bermudian public deserves to know what is on the line. How much will the OBA cut from future care? Does the OBA plan on cutting daycare assistance? Does the OBA plan on cutting pensions? Does the OBA plan on letting the police force shrink with attrition? What is it that the OBA plans on cutting? The voters deserve the facts. Is the One Bermuda Alliance the party of austerity, or is the One Bermuda Alliance the party of big spending? The OBA cannot have it both ways. It's time to put down the fairy tale book and come clean with the Bermudian people about your real agenda for Bermuda. Thank you.
Take any questions? No questions?
Pardon me? The $500 million figure came from analyzing a selection of the OBA plans that they had inside their mini platform document. And as I've reviewed in previous press conferences, these figures were taken from the 2011, 2012, and 2000 budget books, which are publicly available figures. The figures for marsh follow remediation, the figures for waterfront development are all publicly available figures. Their payroll tax calculation, their payroll tax cut holiday amounts to $127 million over 5 years. We have road programs that are estimated at $30 million. We have a technical curriculum, which will cost an additional $1.5 million a year, which adds up to $7.9 million over 5 years. We have increased preschool spaces, which means that you have to increase spaces, in additional rent, and additional teachers for additional preschool spaces, which they propose, extending the school day, and extending the Bermuda College, they say that the police are underfunded, and they pledge to increase on crime funding. They said about digital mapping technology, the reduction of stamp duty, or the raising of the cap on stamp duty exemption from $750 million to $100 million, and also the reopening of the indigent clinic. My view is that we've costed out these plans. We've given the estimates. We've went through the estimates in detail. And the thing is that the OBA has challenged our estimates, but at no point in time have they said what their plans would cost. Well, it's up to the OBA to say what their plans cost. We've done our estimates, and we say that if you implement these plans according to current budget figures, this is how much your plans would cost.
Let me ask a question. The first time you revealed these estimates, you also promised to walk us through in detail how you described this. I haven't seen these since then.
I'm more than happy. I have the printout right here, and I'm more than happy to review it with you.
All right, just a question about the payroll tax on this. My recollection is that the OBA has said they would give payroll tax cuts to employers for new Bermudian hires.
Correct.
If an employer hires somebody, that person is also paying their share of taxes, right? Did your estimate factor in the additional revenue to government coffers from that? From those new Bermudian hires?
Okay, here's what our estimates took into account. Our estimates took into account payroll tax.
My question is, did it actually factor in additional revenue?
Absolutely. But the thing is that the additional revenue is offset, not only by that, but the additional revenue is offset. Okay, here's the thing. If you say that you're going to have tax cuts for new Bermudian hires, correct? Then the question is, where does that end? That's where you start, because you can say that it's new Bermudian hires. So what happens? If someone changes a job, is that also a tax cut? The thing is, it's not just people who are unemployed, it's also people who change jobs, and there's immense turnover in the workforce on a regular basis. So that's why the question is, what is it precisely what they plan on cutting? Because it is a reduction in revenue.
Well, I mean, your calculation, I'm not here to argue for you.
Got it.
Your calculation would have been based on additional people coming to the payroll and revenue that is foregone because of those additional people coming to the payroll. Okay, but those people are also bringing in revenue by virtue of becoming additional employees.
Understood.
Across the board.
But here's the thing. New Bermudian hires, it doesn't necessarily mean that there are additional people. For instance, if someone changes their job, they're still classified as a new hire. So it's not as though if they are now adding additional taxes.
But that's why I'm asking to explain your analysis.
I understand what you're saying, and what I'm saying
it
is,
seems to me, what's the figure? 127.
the figure is 25.4 million in the first year.
Right, and that's based on a number of people who are hired.
Absolutely.
Hypothetically.
Pardon me?
Hypothetically, it's based
Yes,
on an actual
absolutely.
number of people.
It's a number of people hired plus the annual turnover in the workforce on a Bermudian perspective. Not just overall hiring, Bermudian hiring.